Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. It is 5:18, so most of you are heading out the office. So let me take care of this right here. I need to remove this. Oops, I did the wrong thing. Oh, I wish I can go back. I did the wrong thing. Let me pin this back. Let me handle some administrative things. But hello, good evening. Good evening. I'm trying to cross post here, and I have my phone in one hand, and so mommy's about to do a live, and I'm at home making a video. So but I wanted to share something with you briefly, and so let me do one thing at a time. Okay, and I hope you all are well. So in the interim, let me also say that if you are following the KHARIS Group page, then you've noticed that there's an opportunity to win 3 summit tickets. So I am encouraging you to follow the directions on the post, which is really to like the page, share the post, tag your team members so that you can have an opportunity to win. And we will be doing that drawing on December 18th. So, all right, I have it. Okay. All righty. Okay, so I have gotten that posted, and as you can probably see some differing lights, I am right on the corner of my couch, sitting right beside my Christmas tree. But I wanted to share this message with you that making the decision to decide. And some of you may be wondering, okay, what does that mean? One of the things that I'm recognizing is that once you make a decision, and I'm learning whether that decision is good or bad, everything that aligns or does not align with those decisions come into fruition. And so even the things that you don't even anticipate, once you make a decision, either that decision is a reflection of the alignment of where you are supposed to be, and whether that decision is with your organization, with your life, with your business. Or if you decide not to make a decision, there is an impact. Everything is always a cause and effect. And you study that in school, and then you start getting older, and then lives. But then you're hit with, let me just share and just be open enough to say that when you're hit and when you're met with, I think, the realization of how many decisions you did not make, and recognize that the impact is still there, it causes you to shift and to rethink and to refocus on some things. And so what I want to share with you, just to move forward, even from this day of December 4th at 5:23 p.m., make a decision to decide what you will engage with, what is priority, what is something that you need to eliminate and what you need to separate from. And sometimes it can be so easy. And making those decisions, once you've recognized that you have made so many other decisions that are not, that have not been healthy or productive, it feels like sometimes you can go in and that you're backtracking so much, or you're disappointing people, or that you are left with so many just regrets. I know how that feels when you have over committed yourselves and so you can't fulfill the commitment, when you've over serviced and you've joined another activity and you recognize you didn't even have the capacity to maintain the one that you have. But nonetheless, you still are faced with those just real moments. Wow, what happens? I need to keep my word. Or what happens if I need to keep my word? I'm battling whether I should keep my word or get back in alignment, even if that makes me look bad. But that's because I made a bad decision from the onset. Those things are really tough to deal with. And you may are experiencing or have experienced these things in leadership, whether that's in the family, in your business, or in your organization, and that you're having to make decisions to decide to realign, and making decisions to decide to get back focused, or detaching yourself from unhealthy habits or unhealthy situations, or just individuals, or just your own personal thoughts and emotional spaces that have not been productive for you. Making a decision to decide to move forward, even when it may disappoint other people's expectations. We can say it's very easy, or me, myself, and I'm self-care. We can holler all of these self mantras about, you only get one life, and no is a complete sentence. I have said it all. And then you're faced with, wow, what's on the other side of making this decision, when I know that it's going to disappoint people expectations, when I know that it may not be seen and appreciated from the beginning, or you feel like you're doing so much within your family or your organization or whatever you're serving, and it still seems that it's not enough, but it's still making the decision to decide. And what we have to recognize in these decisions, that we have to shift our audience, that we have to understand that, I hear it all the time, purpose is not a conference call. And even being a leader, not every decision is going to be received with 100% participation or even agreement. But making a decision to decide that you are going to commit yourselves to the priorities. And there are a lot of things that come up. And we are living in, just a structural manner of our society to where everything seems like it's urgent and important because people have so much access to you, whether that's through a group me, or, a Facebook group, or social media group, or an email, or Mighty Networks, or a Slack, whatever it is, this communication medium. You feel like you are obligated to so many things and so many decisions and so many pathways because you just are exposed to so much information. But I just want to encourage you today to make a decision to decide that people may not receive like I want them to receive. It doesn't deter me from being joyful. People may not receive me as I really want them to receive me, even if you made decisions or done things and have and actions to where your heart is good, but it was still received in another way, but make a decision to decide that you don't stop in your capacity. You don't stop leading. You don't stop giving. You don't stop serving. You don't start loving because people are not receptive, or because things are not going your way, or may be tough. This is where you develop the thickness and the elevation of problem management. Dealing with things at this level, it graduates you to deal with things at another level. So make that decision. Even if it's saying, hey, I've been hanging around these, or attending these events and it's not productive. I'm doing it because it's tradition, but it's not fulfilling in any type of way. It is relevant in every area of your life that you make a decision to decide to do the right thing in the right season and for the right cause. And in these moments, it may just seem as if it's too much, or it's not enough, or we're just so concerned, especially in the month of December. We get so concerned with what everyone is doing, with what everyone is buying, how everyone else is raising money, how everyone else is launching their business, how everyone else is, starting and doing their podcast. We can just get bogged down with so much, but make the decision that is relevant and right for your life. Not out of meanness, not out of I've given so much and I'm not going to do anything, to where it hardens your heart, but because you need to get in alignment with what you are supposed to do. We can say these decisions are easy, but they're actually not easy. It takes courage to walk roads that people don't want to walk by themselves. People like to do things in groups now. And if it doesn't make sense for one group, then I should do it for my life. I often hear actually from my pastor who says the crowd is never right. Sometimes we have to look at if everyone is doing these things. Sometimes we need to step back and say, what decision do I need to make to not look like everyone else? Because imitation is not flattery. Imitation is easy. Now, I often use the term, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. But you definitely should not mirror what somebody else is doing, what another entity is doing, what another organization is doing at the expense of your own authentication, of your own identity, of your own worth. You have to make decisions now that makes you uncomfortable. That's what real leaders do. Make decisions that are uncomfortable, uneasy, and decisions that makes you sit back and say, okay, let's do it. When you have to give a pep talk to yourself, when you actually have to encourage yourself to make a decision, that's when you know, all right, here we go. It's about to get real now. Because those decisions, oh yeah, those decisions are not for the faint at heart. It's not wrong to want to be accepted or validated, because that's our human attraction for other human beings. And to know that we belong in this space together because of our fellow brothers and sisters. I'm not disqualifying that. What I am saying, that when it comes down to that, it stagnates you from making the best decision that will propel you forward, your family forward, your organization, your business forward, and you're stuck because you're outweighing the perception and the exception on behalf of other people, then we have a problem. Yes, we do. There are some decisions that we have to make within companies, certain things we have to follow our rules and procedures and standards. Absolutely. But I really want to speak to the leader. You as an individual, I go to a lot of events and nonprofit and events and different networking events, and when people are introducing themselves, the first thing they introduce themselves is by the organization. I don't personally, I don't like that. And that may be, a little like, oh, well, that's how I do it. I get it. Because when you are defined by your role, what happens when you lose it? What happens when things are not going your way? Where is your identity? I want to encourage you to make a decision to decide to work on your introduction that is not about where you work. You are a leader that's called to impact the public and transform the community by solving problems. And you get to do that work in the nonprofit space. Happen to serve as an executive director or funding director, or project coordinator. Make a decision to even discover in this time who you are and what you bring to your community. And it's beyond a role. This translates to business, to everything. That there is an essence of the core of that's within you as a leader first. And then you get to do and show those talents and those gifts and those skill sets in these areas. I didn't write down any points. I just wanted to share today about making a decision to decide, whatever that is. And then committing yourselves to committing to that decision. It's not for the faint at heart. You'll fall off sometimes. You put things on your calendar. I'm going to work out every day. And you're only hitting 3 days a week. And then the next week you may hit 4. But make a decision to decide. To keep going. We're in a space where we have too many options to not commit. I know that all too well. So I'm only sharing with you what I have been reflecting on myself, that I have to make decisions to decide. How bad do I want to be at the space that God has called me to be? How bad do I want it? There's this motivational speaker, E.T., that says, when you want success as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. But that's all contingent upon making the decision to be, to become. And you may think you got it. And when I make a decision, I make up my mind, that's it. Sometimes we do that in a stubborn way, not necessarily for the right path of leadership. Because those decisions are encompassing of servitude and of leadership and of others. It's not a selfish decision. It's just making decisions to know that what you have to do, someone else is also depending on you to be great. Yes, no matter what society tells you, you have giftings and talents and a skill set that other people need, and it goes beyond you. Because we all have service to give. That's leadership. So just in the wrap up, making the decision. What decisions do you need to make today that will solidify this last month of December? Of 2023 in December, that makes you rest at night knowing that I have given and led and made these decisions in alignment with what I am called to do. Thinking of others, following the path that God has for me, honoring the roles that have been given, and I'm making decisions that are for long-term impact, for legacy, for community, for transformation, for diligence, for obedience. Whatever those decisions are, make a decision. We often say, well, it's sometimes things are just not black and white. Sometimes. But more often, it's just because we lack the confidence to make a decision and then go forth with it. So I hope this helps you make a decision. What are the decisions you need to make now that you're saying and telling people or telling yourself or telling your team, I need 2 days and 3 days and 3 weeks and 5 weeks to think over? Yeah, I'm going to push it to 36 hours. After that, we need to make decisions. We need to make decisions. So with that, I hope you decide to join me and dynamic nonprofit leaders and speakers in the philanthropic and nonprofit space at the 8th Annual Nonprofit Summit to be held March 8th, 2024. I'm so excited. This year's theme is the economy of impact. And why is that entitled the economy of impact? Because I want to ensure that the message is bridged, that income and impact are not exclusive. They're not antagonists. And that there is a great need for income so that we can further our impact. And as we further our impact, it's attractive for more income. And so we're going to hear from dynamic nonprofit leaders who are leading or built 6- and 7-figure organizations. So you can see the blueprint of that. How do I build? How do I lead? We're going to hear it right from these change agents, how they did it and get that blueprint. So I want to see you at the summit. I am going to go ahead and type this in. We're doing a free giveaway for nonprofit tickets to the summit. And so if you like and share and tag on the previous post where it says the conference giveaway, I'm looking at it right now, then get you and your team to join in and to share the message so that you can have the opportunity to win 3 free tickets to the Nonprofit Summit. It's going to be epic. We're anticipating about 100 people to attend this conference this year, to be held at the Cooper Alumni Center on the campus of Arkansas State University. So again, it's going to be great and just excited to see you all. But with that, again, I just want to encourage you, make a decision, decide. Even some decisions are not easy. Some decisions may cost you. Some decisions, and I'm talking about not in a bad way, but that you may have to say, hey, I'm going to go to this training. I'm going to get this certification. I am going to work on this project. I'm going to have this tough conversation. It's just making a decision. All right. Well, you all have a blessed evening, and I'll talk with you next time.